She had killed men twice his size. Men faster, stronger, smarter. Men who begged, men who ran. Men who never saw her coming. So when Nyra slipped through the Alpha's territory that night, silent as breath and just as invisible, there was no hesitation in her step. No fear in her chest, no doubt in her mind. The guards never noticed her. They never do. By the time she reached the Alpha's residence, the moon had already climbed high enough to silver the rooftops. Perfect. Nyra scaled the outer wall with practiced ease, fingers finding cracks, toes gripping stone like she'd been born to climb shadows. She paused at the balcony, listened. Nothing. Too quiet. Her grip tightened slightly on the silver blade strapped to her thigh. Silver. Because she knew exactly what lived in this territory. Too easy. That was the first mistake. The window was unlocked. Second mistake. Or maybe not a mistake at all. Nyra slipped inside. Darkness wrapped around her instantly, but she didn't need light. She never did. She could feel the room, large, cold, occupied. Her breath slowed. There, a presence, heavy, still, watching, no, sleeping, good. She moved forward, step by step, each foot placed with deadly precision. Her fingers curled around the dagger. Silver. Sharp, one clean strike. That was the plan. In, out, gone. No noise. No witnesses. No failure. She reached the edge of the bed, and for a moment, she paused. Something felt off. The air was wrong. Too thick. Too aware. Her instincts whispered something dangerous. Leave? But Nyra didn't leave missions unfinished. She raised the blade, aimed for the heart, and struck. Her wrist was caught midair, hard, unmovable. Her eyes snapped wide, not possible. The man in the bed moved faster than anything she had ever seen. In one fluid motion, he was awake and holding her. His grip tightened, steel around bone. Nyra twisted instantly, driving her knee forward, aiming for his ribs. He didn't even flinch. But she felt it. The silver. A barely there tension that moved through his hand where the blade had grazed his skin. There and gone. Suppressed. Like he had trained himself not to react to it. Like he had been burned before and learned to bury the pain. That wasn't normal. That was something else entirely. Instead of pulling back, he pulled her closer. Too close. Their faces inches apart. And for the first time, Nyra saw him. Golden eyes, not just bright, not just sharp, but burning, alive, and locked on her like he had been waiting. Her breath hitched, just for a second, and that second was all it took. His other hand came up, gripped her jaw, tilted her neck, and before she could react, he bit her. Pain exploded through her body, white-hot, violent, wrong. Nyra gasped, the sound tearing from her throat as her knees nearly buckled beneath her. What was that? Her blade slipped from her fingers, clattering uselessly to the floor. Her body reacted before her mind could catch up. She shoved against him with everything she had. This time, he let her go. Nyra stumbled back, clutching her neck, her breath coming sharp and uneven. Her pulse pounded violently beneath her skin. Something was wrong. Something was changing. Her vision blurred for a split second, then sharpened. Too sharp. She could hear everything. The wind outside, the guards below, his heartbeat. Slow, controlled, watching her. Her gaze snapped back to him. The Alpha was already standing now, tall, barefoot, unarmed, and completely unfazed. He looked at her like she wasn't an assassin who had just tried to kill him. Like she was something else entirely, something he recognized. Who sent you? His voice was low, steady, dangerous. Nyra said nothing. Her body was still adjusting, still burning, still reacting. His gaze dropped briefly to her neck, to the mark, and for the first time, something shifted in his expression. Not anger, not amusement. Something deeper, something almost unsettling. You shouldn't be here. Nyra forced her breathing to steady, forced control back into her limbs. I was paid to be. Her voice came out calm, colder than she felt. A flicker of something crossed his face. Interest. That's not what I meant. He took one step closer. Nyra instantly stepped back. Distance. She needed distance, but something in her body didn't want it. That realization hit her harder than the bite. What did he do to me? His gaze sharpened. You feel it. It wasn't a question. Nyra's jaw tightened. She didn't answer. Didn't confirm, didn't deny, but her silence said enough. The alpha exhaled slowly, and for a moment, something like frustration flickered through him. This isn't possible. Nyra's fingers curled into fists. Then undo it. His gaze snapped back to hers. Cold now. Hard. Do you think I would mark an assassin on purpose? Silence. Heavy, tense, real. Nyra swallowed it down. Whatever this was, whatever he had done, it had changed something inside her. And she didn't like it, didn't understand it, didn't control it. And Nyra never operated without control. She moved first, fast, a feint to the left, then a strike to the right. She went for his throat. This time, he caught her again. But not like before. Not crushing, not forceful, controlled, careful, like he knew exactly how much strength to use, and no more. Their bodies collided briefly. Too close again. Her breath hitched. Again, and she hated that. His hand slid from her wrist to her arm, then stopped, like he had caught himself, like touching her longer than necessary was a mistake. That alone was enough to make her pause. Stop. His voice was quieter now, not a command, a warning. Nyra didn't stop. She twisted again, tried to break free, but something inside her, something new, reacted. Not fear, not pain, something else. Her strength faltered for half a second, and he felt it. Of course he did. His eyes darkened. Leave. The word came sharper this time. Nyra froze. Not because she wanted to, but because her body listened. That realization sent a cold wave through her chest. No, that wasn't happening. She took a step back, then another. Never breaking eye contact, never lowering her guard. The door was behind her. Freedom, escape, control. She needed all three. Now. Next time, she said quietly, her voice steady again, you won't wake up. A lie. She knew it the second she said it. And judging by the look in his eyes, so did he. There won't be a next time. Nyra didn't ask what he meant, didn't wait, didn't hesitate. She turned and disappeared into the night. But she didn't go back for the blade. She told herself it was strategy. Leave no evidence. Leave no trace. But the truth was that something in her didn't want to go back into that room. Not yet. Not while the mark still burned. Not while his name was already forming in the back of her mind. Kael. She'd heard it whisper by the guards below as she scaled the wall. Kael, the alpha of Vithara. The one nobody had ever successfully gotten close enough to kill. And now she understood why. Nyra didn't stop running until the territory was far behind her. Trees blurred past. Branches snapped beneath her feet. Her breath should have been steady, controlled, measured. It wasn't. Something inside her was off rhythm, wrong, unfamiliar. She finally stopped when the forest thinned into open ground. Her hand shot to her neck. The mark burned beneath her fingers. Not like a wound, not like pain, like heat, like something alive. She clenched her jaw and forced herself to breathe. Slow. In, out, focus. She'd been injured before, poisoned, shot, broken. This was different. Her senses were sharper. Her hearing stretched farther. Even the air tasted clearer, stronger, more defined. Like a door had cracked open inside her that had always been sealed shut. Her body wasn't weakening. It was changing. Nyra's stomach dropped. No, that wasn't possible. She had never shifted, not once, not ever. Not even as a child. She wasn't like them. Wasn't like wolves. Wasn't part of any pack. That had always been her advantage, her protection, her identity. So Why did she feel like something inside her was waking up, like it had been sleeping for years, waiting, and his bite had been the thing that finally stirred it? Her nails pressed into her palm. Grounding, control, think. He bit her. Not just bit. Marked. Her jaw tightened. That wasn't something alphas did lightly. It wasn't something they did accidentally. It wasn't something they did to enemies. Unless... Her thought stopped abruptly. No. Impossible. She shook her head. Rejected it instantly. That kind of bond didn't happen like that. Didn't happen without something deeper, something real, something... She cut the thought off before it could finish forming. No, there was nothing real about tonight. Only a mistake. And mistakes could be fixed. Her expression hardened. She would find a way to break it, remove it, destroy it, whatever it took. Because if there was one thing Nyra refused to become, it was someone bound. Back in the territory, he didn't move. Not right away. The room was silent again. Still. But the air had changed. Completely. Kael stood where she had left him, eyes fixed on the empty space near the door. His jaw was tight, his breathing controlled. Too controlled. Slowly. He lifted his hand, touched his own neck. Right where the answering mark should have been. It was there. Faint, wrong. Like something half-finished. Like a sentence that stopped before it ended. The bond had formed, but not cleanly, not completely. It had formed the way a wound forms when the knife is pulled too quickly. Open, unstable, dangerous. And yet, he could feel her, faint, distant, but there, alive, connected. His eyes darkened. That's not possible. He said it again, quieter this time, like saying it enough might make it true, but it wasn't, because he knew what he felt, and more importantly, he knew what he had done. He hadn't meant to mark her, not consciously, not deliberately, but his wolf had reacted, instinctively, violently, like it had recognized something before he did, something it wanted, something it refused to let go. His hand curled slowly into a fist. No. The word came sharper this time, firm, final. He turned away from the door, from the place she had stood, from the scent still lingering in the air. This was a mistake, and mistakes got people killed. He walked to the window, looked out over the dark territory, silent, waiting, watching. If she comes back... His voice dropped, colder now, deadlier. I won't hesitate. But even as he said it, something in his chest tightened, and for the first time in a very long time, Kael felt something he didn't like. Uncertainty. Nyra didn't sleep. She couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt it, that pull, faint, persistent, unwanted, like a thread tied somewhere deep inside her, pulling her in a direction she refused to go. Back to him, her jaw clenched. No, absolutely not. She shifted position against the tree she had taken shelter under. Dawn was beginning to break. Light filtered through the branches, soft, calm, deceptive. Nothing about this was calm. Her fingers brushed her neck again. Still warm, still there, still real. She thought briefly about going back for the blade, decided against it. Going back meant crossing into his territory again. Going back meant getting closer to him, and getting closer was exactly what she was trying to avoid. She would find another blade. She always did. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Whatever this is, her voice was quiet, cold, controlled again. I'll break it. But even as she said it, her body betrayed her, because somewhere deep inside, beneath the control, beneath the discipline, beneath the years of surviving alone, something else had begun to stir. Not fear, not anger, not pain. Something far more dangerous, recognition. And Nyra didn't know what to do with that. She lasted 3 hours. That was how long Nyra managed to stay away. 3 hours of pacing, 3 hours of fighting the pull. 3 hours of pretending it wasn't there. It didn't fade. It didn't weaken. It grew, slowly, relentlessly, like something tightening around her ribs. Every breath felt heavier. Every step felt wrong, like she was moving in the opposite direction of where she was meant to be. Nyra stopped walking. Her jaw tightened. No. The word came out low, firm, final. She turned in the opposite direction again, forced her body forward. 1 step, 2, 3, pain hit, sharp, sudden. It dropped her to one knee. Her hand slammed into the ground to steady herself as her breath caught violently in her chest. What? Her heart pounded erratically. Too fast. Too hard. Like it was trying to break out of her ribs. Her fingers trembled as she pressed them against her neck. The mark burned hotter now. Not heat. Not exactly. Something deeper. Something that pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. No, this wasn't normal. This wasn't just a mark. This was a tether. An incomplete bond pulling at frayed ends. Nyra sucked in a sharp breath, and for the first time since the night began, something close to panic crept in. And then something else. A flicker, low, primal, like something beneath her skin that wanted to answer the pull instead of fight it. Her whole body recoiled from it. No, that wasn't her. That wasn't... She shut it down hard, buried it. Whatever he had woken in her, she wasn't letting it out. Not here, not now, not ever. Miles away. Kael felt it. The moment it hit her, his body reacted before his mind did. A sharp tension pulled through his chest, sudden and uninvited. His steps stopped mid-stride. His head lifted slightly, eyes narrowing. There it was, that same thread, that same impossible connection, but stronger now, unstable, wrong. His jaw clenched. She's pushing against it. The realization came instantly. Of course she was. An assassin wouldn't submit to anything, especially not a bond, especially not him. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was what happened when she kept resisting. His gaze darkened. If she keeps fighting it... He didn't finish the thought. He didn't need to, because he already knew the answer. An unstable bond didn't break when you pulled against it. It snapped back, hard, and when it did, it wouldn't hurt him. It would hurt her. Nyra forced herself upright. Her breathing was uneven now, not controlled, not steady, and that alone pissed her off more than the pain. She didn't lose control. She didn't react. She adapted, always. But this wasn't something she understood, and that made it dangerous. Her eyes scanned the horizon, calculating, thinking, options. There had to be a way to cut it, block it, silence it. Her gaze hardened. Fine. If distance didn't work, then she'd force it. She turned sharply and started running again. This time, straight away from him. Faster, harder, ignoring the way her chest tightened, ignoring the way her pulse spiked, ignoring everything. The second the distance widened too far, her body reacted violently, her vision blurred, her legs faltered, and this time she didn't catch herself. She hit the ground hard, air knocked from her lungs. A sharp, strangled gasp tore out of her throat as pain surged through her chest. It felt like something inside her had been yanked, hard, brutally, like a chain pulled too tight. Her fingers clawed into the dirt. Her breathing fractured. No, this was bad. This was very bad. Her body curled slightly, instinctively trying to protect itself from something it didn't understand, from something it couldn't fight. Her voice came out broken this time. What did you do to me? Kael moved. The second the bond snapped back, he didn't hesitate, didn't question, didn't think. He ran. Fast. Faster than he had any reason to. Faster than logic allowed. Because the feeling that hit him through the bond was wrong. Not pain, not just pain. Distress, sharp, disorienting, dangerous. His wolf surged forward instantly, restless, agitated, focused on one thing, her. Damn it. His voice came low as he pushed harder, faster, closing the distance between them with terrifying speed. He hadn't planned to follow her, hadn't planned to get involved, hadn't planned any of this, but plans didn't matter anymore, because now she was connected to him, and whether he liked it or not, that made her his responsibility. Nyra didn't hear him coming, not at first. Her senses were still disoriented, still unstable, still wrong. But her instincts, those never failed. Her head snapped up just as he broke through the trees. Her body reacted instantly, even in pain. She pushed herself up, staggering slightly as she reached for the dagger at her thigh. Gone. Right. She had left it. Smart, she had told herself at the time. Now it just felt like a mistake. Her jaw tightened. Her eyes locked onto Kael. He stopped a few feet away. Close. Too close. His gaze moved over her quickly, assessing, calculating, not like prey, not like an enemy, like damage. You're forcing it. His voice was sharp, controlled, but underneath, there was something else, something tighter. Nyra straightened despite the way her body protested. I don't belong to you. His eyes darkened. I didn't say you did. Then fix it. Silence. Heavy, loaded, real. His jaw tightened. I can't. The words hit harder than the pain. Nyra's expression didn't change, but something behind her eyes shifted. That's not acceptable. His gaze flicked briefly to her neck, to the mark, still faintly glowing beneath her skin. It's not optional. She took a step toward him, unsteady, angry. Then make it optional. You think I haven't tried to figure that out already? His voice rose slightly this time, not loud, but sharper, frustrated, for the first time. Nyra paused, not because of his tone, because of what he said. Already? Her eyes narrowed slightly. You knew what you were doing. No. The answer came immediately, flat, certain. Her gaze searched his face, looking for the lie. She didn't find it. That was the problem. Silence stretched between them again, tense, unstable, real. Nyra's breathing was still uneven, her body still reacting, still adjusting, still connected. She hated it, hated every second of it, hated the way standing this close to him made the pressure in her chest ease, hated the way her body responded, hated everything about this. Stay within range. His voice came lower now, controlled again, not a suggestion, a fact. Nyra's eyes snapped back to his. Or what? His gaze held hers, unflinching. Or it will keep hurting you. Silent. And this time, she believed him. That was the most dangerous part. For a long moment, neither of them moved, didn't step closer, didn't step away, just stood there, connected, by something neither of them wanted, neither of them understood, and neither of them could break. Nyra exhaled slowly, measured, controlled again. Fine. If distance made it worse, then she would adapt, adjust, survive, like she always did. Her chin lifted slightly. This changes nothing. His gaze didn't waver. It already has. The wind shifted between them, carrying her scent toward him. His wolf reacted instantly. A low, almost inaudible tension moved through his body. Not aggression, not threat, recognition. His jaw tightened. He stepped back first. Deliberate, controlled, creating space. Even if it made the bond pull tighter for a second, he ignored it. We need to understand what this is. Nyra let out a quiet breath, almost a scoff. I don't need to understand it. Her eyes hardened. I need to end it. His gaze sharpened. And if ending it kills you? That made her pause, just for a second. But he saw it. Of course he did. Her silence gave him the answer he needed. He exhaled slowly, then said quieter this time. Then we figure it out. We, Nyra didn't like that word, didn't accept it, didn't trust it. But right now, she didn't have a better option, and that might have been the most dangerous thing of all. The bond pulsed again, softer this time. Not pain, not pressure, something else, something steadier, like it had settled for now. But deep down, both of them knew this wasn't stable, it wasn't safe, and it definitely wasn't normal. Nyra didn't agree to follow him, not verbally, not willingly, but she didn't walk away either, and that was enough. They moved through the forest in silence, not side by side, not together, but not apart either. A careful distance, measured, tense. Every time she drifted too far, the bond reacted, not violently like before, but enough, a tightening, a warning, a reminder. Nyra adjusted. She hated that she had to, hated that her body learned faster than her mind. Adaptation, survival, that was all this was. Nothing more. He noticed. Of course he did. The way she recalculated every step, the way her breathing steadied again, the way she masked the discomfort, efficient, controlled, dangerous, not just because she had tried to kill him, but because she didn't break under pressure. Most would have panicked. Most would have demanded answers. Most would have lost control. She didn't. She adapted. His gaze flicked toward her briefly, then forward again. That made her unpredictable, and unpredictable was a problem. You're not from any pack. His voice broke the silence without warning. Nyra didn't look at him. You ask a lot of questions for someone who said he'd kill me if I came back. I didn't say I'd kill you. A beat. I said I wouldn't hesitate. Her lips pressed slightly. Not quite a smile. Not quite anything. Same thing. No. His tone was calm, certain. It's not. Silence settled again, but it wasn't empty. It never was with him. The territory line came into view. Nyra stopped. He didn't. He kept walking. Didn't look back. Didn't slow down, like he already knew she would follow. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Arrogant, calculated, accurate. That irritated her more than anything else. But the bond tightened slightly. Not pain. Just enough pressure to remind her to stay within range. Her jaw clenched, and after a moment, she moved. The second she crossed into his territory, she felt it. Not the bond. Something else. Eyes, watching, not one, not two. Many. Hidden in the trees, in the shadows, in the silence. Her body reacted instantly. Posture shifting, weight adjusting, awareness sharpening. Threat assessment, multiple wolves. Positions unknown. Intent, hostile. Good. That was familiar, that she understood. They know what you are. Kael's voice came low without turning. Nyra's gaze scanned the tree line. They don't like it. They shouldn't. His response was immediate, simple, final. That made her glance at him. Just briefly. You're not worried. His pace didn't change. No. Confident. A pause, then. Certain. That was different. Nyra studied him for half a second longer, then looked away again. Interesting. They didn't attack, but they followed. Nyra could feel it, hear it, movement between trees. Low growls, barely restrained. Waiting. For what? For permission? For weakness? For a mistake? Her fingers flexed slightly. If they came, she would fight. Bond or not. Mark or not. Alpha or not. She wouldn't go down easy. The main house came into view again. Large, silent, watching. Just like its alpha. Nyra stopped just outside the entrance. This time, Kael did stop. Turned to face her. Close again. Too close. The bond shifted. Not pain, not pressure. Something warmer, subtle, unwanted. Her expression hardened instantly, ignoring it, suppressing it, killing it before it could grow. You're staying here. Not a question, a statement. Nyra's eyes snapped to his. No. Yes. No. You don't have a choice. That did it. Her body went still, dangerously still. I always have a choice. His gaze held hers, unmoving, unimpressed. Then choose. Silence, heavy, sharp, real. Nyra stepped closer, deliberate, controlled. Her voice dropped, low, cold. Say it properly. A flicker of something moved through his eyes. Interest, recognition, challenge. You want to give me an order? She stopped right in front of him now, close enough to feel the heat of his body, close enough that the bond reacted again. That same subtle shift, that same unwanted awareness. Her voice sharpened slightly. Then, say it like you mean it. The air between them tightened, not with aggression, with something far more dangerous. Kael didn't move, didn't step back, didn't break eye contact. For a second, nothing happened. Then, stay. One word, low, controlled, commanding. And the bond reacted, not painfully, not violently, but unmistakably. Nyra felt it, deep, immediate. Her body stilled completely. Her breath caught. Just for a second, that was enough. Her eyes darkened instantly. No, that was not happening. She took a step back, breaking it, breaking whatever that was. Her pulse spiked. Anger flared, hot, sharp, dangerous. Don't. The word came out like a warning, not fear, never fear. His expression didn't change, but his voice, lower now, quieter. Then don't push it. That only made it worse. Her control slipped for half a second, and that was all it took. Try that again, and I will finish what I started. Silence. Then, try leaving again, and it will finish you. The words landed hard, not as a threat, as fact. Nyra held his gaze, searching, testing. He didn't flinch, didn't bluff, didn't lie, and that made it real. A long moment passed, then another. Then, Nyra exhaled slowly. Fine, not submission, not acceptance, strategy. She stepped past him, into the house, on her own terms. That mattered, even if it didn't change anything. The moment she crossed the threshold, the tension shifted. The watching eyes outside didn't disappear. But they pulled back, reluctantly, uneasily, like something about her didn't sit right with them. Good. Let them be uncomfortable. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that held power. Nyra moved slowly, taking everything in. Exits, entrances, windows, angles, distance. Always calculating. Always ready. You'll take my room. She stopped, turned slightly. That sounds like a mistake. His gaze didn't waver. It's the only place they won't come. That made her pause. They? My pack. Her eyes narrowed slightly. They're afraid of you. No. A beat. They respect boundaries. That wasn't the same thing. And they both knew it. Nyra studied him for a moment longer, then turned away again, moving deeper into the space. His space. That should have bothered her more. It didn't. Not as much as it should. And that was a problem. Behind her, Kael watched. Not like prey, not like an enemy, not like a mate. Something else. Something he hadn't defined yet. Didn't want to define. Because whatever this was, it wasn't simple. It wasn't normal. And it definitely wasn't under control. The bond pulsed again. Soft, steady, present. Like it had settled into something temporary. Something fragile. Something that could break at any moment. And outside, the watching wolves finally moved. Not away. Not completely. Just far enough to whisper, to question, to doubt. Because one thing was already clear. Kael hadn't brought back a prisoner. He hadn't brought back prey. He hadn't even brought back an enemy. He had brought back something else. Something the pack didn't understand. Something they didn't trust. Something that didn't belong, but was already inside, and deep in the silence of the house. Nyra felt it again. That pull, not forcing, not hurting, just there, constant, unavoidable, like a quiet reminder that no matter how far she ran, she wasn't leaving this behind, not anymore. Nyra didn't like closed spaces. She liked exits, angles, control. This place had all of that, and still, Something about it felt different. His room was larger than she expected. Minimal, no unnecessary objects, no clutter, no distractions. Everything had purpose. Everything had order, just like him. Nyra moved through it slowly, counting steps, marking distances, window, door, secondary exit, blind spots. There were none. Of course there weren't. She stopped near the center of the room, listened. Nothing. Too quiet. Again. Her fingers brushed the edge of the table. Solid, real, grounding, good. She needed that, because her body was still not entirely hers. The bond pulsed faintly. Not pain, not pressure, just presence, like something sitting quietly at the back of her mind, waiting, watching, breathing with her. Her jaw tightened. No, she wasn't getting used to it. She was tolerating it. There was a difference. Outside the door, she could feel him, not hear, not see, feel. That alone irritated her. She moved toward the door, paused, then opened it. He was exactly where she expected, leaning slightly against the wall across from the room, arms crossed, eyes already on her, like he hadn't moved, like he hadn't stopped watching. "You're still there." Her tone was flat, neutral, but her eyes were sharp. He didn't answer immediately, didn't shift, didn't pretend. "I can feel you." That was new. Nyra stilled, just for a second. "You shouldn't." "I know." Silence, heavy again. Different this time. Her gaze held his, testing. "You feel everything." A beat. "Not everything." His voice dropped slightly. "Enough." That was worse. Much worse. Nyra stepped out into the hallway. Closer. Careful. Measured. Every step controlled. But the closer she got, the quieter the bond became. The tension in her chest eased. Her breathing steadied. Her body relaxed. She stopped immediately. No, that was not acceptable. His gaze dropped slightly, tracking the shift. Of course he noticed. Of course he did. "You feel it too." Not a question. She didn't answer, didn't confirm, didn't deny. But this time, her silence wasn't control. It was awareness. And that was new. Distance makes it unstable. His voice was calm, analytical, like he was working through something. Close proximity stabilizes it. Nyra's eyes narrowed. "So I'm supposed to just stay near you? That would prevent it from hurting you." Her lips pressed together slightly. "Convenient. For both of us." That made her look at him again. Harder, searching. There was no manipulation in his tone. No hidden agenda. Just truth. Simple. Direct. Uncomfortable. Nyra leaned slightly against the wall, arms crossing, mirroring him without realizing it. "If this is a bond," she said slowly, carefully, "then it shouldn't exist." "I know. You said that already." "And it's still true." Her gaze sharpened. "Then explain it." Silence. Longer this time. More real. When he spoke again, his voice was quieter, not uncertain, but careful. "There are only a few ways a bond forms like that." Nyra didn't move, didn't blink, listening. "None of them apply to you." That wasn't reassuring. "Try again." His jaw tightened slightly. "Fate bonds don't trigger like that. Marking without consent doesn't create stability." "And forced bonds." He paused, just for a second. "They don't feel like this." Nyra's expression didn't change, but something in her eyes focused. "What does this feel like?" That question hung between them, heavy, unavoidable. His gaze held hers, unflinching, like it's already decided. Silence. Deep, sharp, real. Nyra pushed off the wall instantly. "No." The word came out fast, cold, final. That wasn't happening. That was the one thing she refused. Completely. Absolutely. "Nothing decides for me." His gaze didn't waver. "I can see that." "Then stop talking like it does." "I'm not talking." A beat. "I'm observing." Her jaw clenched, hard. The bond pulsed again. Softer, quieter, but still there. Still constant. still connected. Nyra turned away, just slightly, breaking the direct line between them. Then observe this. Her voice dropped, colder, controlled again. I'm leaving in the morning. His response came immediately. No. Her eyes snapped back to his. You don't get to decide that. And you don't get to ignore what happens if you do. Silence. Again. But this time, it carried something else. Pressure, reality, risk. Nyra stepped closer again. Deliberate, testing, challenging. If I walk out of here, she stopped right in front of him. Close enough that the bond shifted again. That subtle ease, that dangerous calm. Her voice dropped, low, sharp. What happens? His eyes held hers, steady, unmoving. You already know. Her breath slowed. Not from calm, from control. Say it. A beat. Then, it will break you. That should have sounded like a threat. It didn't. That was the problem. Nyra held his gaze for a long moment, searching again, testing again, looking for weakness, for doubt, for anything she could use. She didn't find it, and that made this real. She stepped back, just slightly, enough to create space, enough to think, enough to breathe without that pull interfering. Then we fix it. Her voice was calmer now, colder, focused. How? He watched her for a second, then, we find out what you are. That hit differently. Nyra's expression didn't change, but something behind her eyes shifted, sharp, dangerous, controlled. I already know what I am. His gaze didn't waver. No, a beat. You know what you've been. Silence, heavy, cracking something just beneath the surface. Nyra didn't respond, didn't react, didn't move, but inside, something tightened, something she had buried a long time ago, something she didn't touch, didn't think about, didn't allow. He saw it just for a second, that flicker, that shift, and that was enough. Someone sent you. His voice changed slightly, more focused now, more deliberate. To kill me. Nyra's expression smoothed instantly, control snapping back into place. Someone always does. Not like this. Silence. Then, who? Nyra didn't answer, didn't blink, didn't even pretend to consider it. I don't keep names. That's a lie. Her eyes narrowed slightly. You think you know me already? I know enough. His voice was quieter now, but sharper, more dangerous. They sent you for a reason. A beat. And I don't think it was to kill me. That landed, not visibly, not obviously, but it landed, because for the first time, that thought actually made sense. Nyra's gaze shifted slightly, just for a second, and that was enough. His expression hardened, just slightly. They knew this would happen. Silence. Then, they wanted it to happen. The bond pulsed, not soft this time, not steady, something deeper, something darker, like it had just been acknowledged, because this wasn't random. This wasn't chance. This wasn't an accident. This was planned, and Nyra, for the first time since she took the mission, was starting to realize she might not have been sent to kill the Alpha. She might have been sent to bind him. Nyra didn't leave in the morning, not because she agreed, not because she accepted anything he said, but because the moment she stepped too far from him, her body reminded her exactly what no choice meant. It started subtle, a tightening in her chest, a slight imbalance in her steps, easy to ignore, easy to push through. She tried anyway. Of course she did. She made it to the outer edge of the territory, further than before, better, stronger, control. For a moment, it almost felt like she could do it. Almost. Then the bond snapped, harder than before. No warning, no build-up, just pain, sharp, violent, immediate. Nyra dropped to her knees. A strangled breath tore from her throat as her vision fractured. The world tilted. Her heart slammed erratically against her ribs. Too fast, too hard, wrong. Her fingers clawed into the dirt, trying to ground herself, trying to fight it, trying to stay conscious. Damn it! The words barely made it out. Her body trembled. Not from fear, from something far worse. Loss of control. And then it happened. That flicker again. The same one from before. Low, animal, desperate. Something beneath her skin that surged upward like it was trying to take over. To protect her. To answer the bond the way it was meant to be answered. Nyra slammed it back down. Hard, furious, shaking. No. Whatever he had unlocked in her, whatever she was becoming, she was not losing herself. Not here, not like this. And then, nothing. Kael felt it instantly. Stronger than before. Worse than before. Not just pain this time. Collapse. His head snapped up, body already moving before the thought finished forming. By the time he reached her, she was on the ground, unmoving. His chest tightened sharply. Not fear, not panic. Something colder. Something sharper. Something he hadn't felt in a long time. Nyra. Her name came out low, controlled, but his hand was already on her shoulder, turning her slightly, checking, breathing, pulse, there, faint, but there. His jaw tightened. He didn't hesitate, didn't consider, didn't question. He lifted her, easily, like she weighed nothing, and the second she was closer, the bond reacted. Her body responded instantly, a sharp inhale, a sudden desperate breath as her lungs filled again. Her fingers twitched slightly against his chest. Her pulse steadied. His grip tightened, just slightly. Idiot? The word came out quieter than expected. Not anger, not quite. Nyra's eyes opened slowly, blurred at first, then focused. The first thing she saw was him, too close, again. Her body reacted before her mind did. Her hand pressed weakly against his chest, pushing, resisting, even now. Put me down. Her voice was rough, strained, but still controlled, still stubborn. He didn't. Instead, he adjusted his grip, secured her, held her steadier. No. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Even like this, even weak, even affected. She didn't submit. I'm not. Her breath caught again. Not pain this time. Something else. The bond settling, stabilizing. He felt it too. The shift, the quiet, the dangerous calm. His voice lowered. Closer now. You don't get to pretend this isn't happening. That hit. Not because of what he said, but because, for the first time, she couldn't fight it. Nyra went still, completely still. Her hand remained against his chest, but it didn't push anymore, didn't resist. And that was worse, because now she was aware of it. His heartbeat, slow, steady, strong, her breathing, gradually matching it, the warmth between them, the closeness, the bond, settling. Nyra's fingers curled slightly against his shirt, not gripping, not holding, just there. And for a moment, just one, she didn't move away. That was the crack. He felt it. Of course he did. His gaze dropped slightly, watching the shift. Not pushing it, not forcing it, just acknowledging it. Stay within range. His voice was quieter now, less command, more controlled restraint. Nyra exhaled slowly, her strength returning, her control rebuilding, piece by piece. I wasn't trying to leave. A lie, a weak one. His expression didn't change. You were. Silence. She didn't argue this time, didn't deny, didn't deflect. Instead, she shifted slightly, testing her weight, her balance, her control. Put me down. This time, he did, slowly, carefully, like he was measuring every movement, making sure the bond didn't react, making sure she didn't collapse again. The moment her feet hit the ground, she stepped away. Just enough. Testing. The bond held, stable, good. Nyra rolled her shoulders slightly, resetting, recentering, reclaiming herself. That won't happen again. His gaze stayed on her. You don't know that. Her eyes sharpened. I do. He didn't respond. Didn't argue. didn't push, but the look in his eyes said everything. You don't. By the time they returned, the pack was waiting. Not hidden this time. Not silent, not distant. Visible, watching, tense. Nyra felt it immediately. The shift in the air, the hostility, the suspicion, the threat. Good. She preferred enemies she could see. They stood in a loose formation, not attacking, not moving, but ready. Eyes followed them, tracked every step, every movement, every breath. And then the murmuring started. Low, quiet, but not quiet enough. She's the one. She shouldn't be here. He brought her inside. That's not right. Nyra's expression didn't change, didn't react, didn't acknowledge. But her body shifted slightly, prepared, ready. Beside her, Kael noticed. Stay behind me. Her head turned slightly, just enough. No, of course not. His jaw tightened. But he didn't argue, didn't push. Instead, he stepped slightly forward, not blocking her, not hiding her, but positioning. That alone didn't go unnoticed. A larger wolf stepped forward from the group, not shifted, human. But the power was obvious, second in command. His gaze locked onto Nyra, hard, suspicious, unforgiving. You brought her here. Kael didn't respond immediately, didn't explain, didn't justify. Yes, that was it. The tension snapped tighter. She's not pack. No, she's marked. A pause. Yes. The air shifted dangerously. That wasn't normal. That wasn't acceptable. That wasn't allowed. The man's gaze sharpened. You marked an outsider. Silence. Then, no. That made everyone pause. Even Nyra. Because that wasn't what happened. Kael's voice dropped slightly, colder, more precise. The bond formed. A beat. Incompletely, unstably. But it formed. That was worse. Much worse. Because that meant it wasn't a choice. And if it wasn't a choice, then it was something else. Something older, something dangerous. The murmuring grew louder, less controlled, more uneasy. Nyra felt it. The shift. The fear. Not of her. Of what she meant. The man stepped forward again. Closer now. Too close. This is a mistake. Nyra's gaze flicked to him. Cold, sharp. Then fix it. The words slipped out before she could stop them. And that was enough. The man's attention snapped fully to her. His expression darkened instantly. You don't speak here. Wrong thing to say. Nyra's posture shifted slightly. Not aggressive, not overt, but enough. I just did. The air went still. The line had been crossed, and everyone knew it. The man took another step forward, tension rising, control slipping. You don't belong. Enough. Kael's voice cut through everything. Low, sharp, absolute. Silence. Immediate. Complete. The man stopped. Not because he wanted to. Because he had to. His gaze flicked back to Kael. Tight. Controlled. Barely. She's a threat. A beat. She's under my protection. That changed everything. The air shifted again. But this time, not with hostility. With something else. Recognition, position, claim. Nyra felt it. The way the words settled. The way they landed. The way they changed how everyone looked at her. Not as prey, not as intruder, but as something connected. Her jaw tightened slightly. I didn't ask for that. His response came immediately, without hesitation, without looking at her. I didn't ask for you. Silence. Then the tension broke. Not completely, not safely, but enough. The pack stepped back, reluctantly, uneasily, but they obeyed. Because no matter what this was, no matter how wrong it felt, no matter how dangerous it looked, their alpha had spoken, and that meant it was real. Nyra exhaled slowly, controlled, measured. This just got worse. Because now, it wasn't just a bond. It was visible. Invisible meant vulnerable. Night fell heavier than it should have. Too quiet, too still. Nyra noticed it first. Not with her eyes, with instinct. The forest wasn't breathing right. She stood near the edge of the clearing, arms loosely crossed, gaze scanning the dark tree line, listening, waiting. Something was wrong. Behind her, the pack moved as usual, guards rotating, voices low, fire crackling, normal, too normal. Her jaw tightened. "They're coming!" The words were quiet, but not quiet enough. Kael heard them. Of course he did. His head turned slightly, eyes already on her. "You're sure?" Nyra didn't look at him. "Too quiet." A beat, then the wind shifted, and everything broke. A howl tore through the night, sharp, violent, foreign, then another, closer, and another, right at the border. The pack reacted instantly, movement, shouts, shifting, but it was already too late. They were inside. Figures burst through the tree line, fast, coordinated, not wild, not reckless, trained. Nyra's stance dropped instantly, every muscle snapping into readiness. "This isn't random." Kael stepped forward beside her, already shifting, then stopping, watching, calculating. "No," he said quietly. "They came for something." Her eyes flicked to him. Then, understanding hit. Me. And that was all the confirmation they needed. The first attacker lunged. Nyra moved before he reached her. Fast. Precise. Lethal. No blade. She'd have to be smarter about it. Her elbow found his throat. Her knee found his gut. The body dropped. No hesitation. No wasted motion. The clearing erupted. Wolves collided. Teeth. Claws. Blood. Chaos. But not blind chaos. This was targeted. Focused. Every attacker moved toward her. Nyra stepped back slightly, adjusting, reading. "Stay behind me." Kael's voice. Closer, sharper. "No." Her response came instantly, cold, certain. "I'm not your weakness." Another attacker lunged. She dropped him. But this time, there were two more behind him. Too fast. Too close. One's blade caught her arm. Shallow, but real. Blood. Her blood. She didn't stop. Didn't even flinch. Registered it. Filed it away. Kept moving. The second one grabbed her from behind. And that was the mistake. The bond snapped. Violent. Explosive. Not pain. Not weakness. Power. Kael moved. Not human. Not controlled. Something deeper. Something primal. The moment the attacker's hands locked on her, Kael was there. And gone. The body didn't even hit the ground properly. And Nyra felt it. Not just the bond. That thing inside her. That flicker she'd been shutting down. It surged, hard, involuntary, like it had been watching the whole time. Waiting for exactly this moment, she forced it back, barely, shaking. She didn't know if she was angrier at the attackers or at herself. "Don't touch her." Kael's voice wasn't fully human anymore. The air shifted, heavy, dominant, unquestionable. Even the attackers felt it. They hesitated, and that hesitation killed them. The pack surged forward, now organized, now controlled. Nyra stepped back slightly, breathing steady, eyes locked on Kael, watching. He was different. Not just fighting, not just protecting, claiming. Another attacker broke through. Closer, smarter, faster. This one didn't go for her directly. He went for Kael. And that changed everything. Nyra moved without thinking, intercepted, took the hit meant for him. The blade cut across her side, deep enough to matter. She didn't make a sound, just kept moving, kept fighting, took the attacker down, and turned back. His gaze dropped slowly, to her, to the blood, to the cost, and something snapped. What followed was not a fight. It was a warning, fast, brutal, final. The attacker didn't scream, didn't fight, didn't survive. Silence followed, heavy, absolute. The remaining attackers ran, not retreat, not strategy, fear. The clearing settled slowly. Breathing, movement, aftermath. Nyra stood still, one hand pressed against her side. The wound wasn't deep enough to kill her, but it was deep enough to remind her She was mortal. She was here. She was bleeding, in a territory that wasn't hers, for an alpha she was supposed to have killed. Kael turned to her, slowly, the shift receding, control returning, but not completely. His eyes locked on the blood. His jaw tightened, hard. You took that hit. Not a question. Nyra's expression didn't change. The angle was better from my position. A lie. Both of them knew it. Silence stretched between them. Heavy, loaded, real. They'll come again. His voice was lower now, rougher. I know. Nyra exhaled slowly. Her eyes moved across the clearing. The bodies, the blood, the pack watching from a careful distance. All of it. They weren't here to kill you, she said quietly. They were here to take me before the bond could stabilize. Kael's gaze sharpened. He knew that already. But hearing her say it, hearing her accept it, was something else. Which means whoever sent you knows it went wrong, she finished. Silence. Then, or knows it went exactly right. That landed, like a blade between the ribs. Nyra turned to look at him. Really look? Then we have the same problem. His eyes held hers. Steady, dark. We have the same enemy. The bond pulsed, once, sharp, like an acknowledgement, and somewhere far beyond the territory, something older felt it, something that had been watching since the night she climbed that wall, something that had been waiting for exactly this moment, for the bond to crack open, for both of them to finally stop running from it. It stirred, satisfied, and began to move. Nyra felt the shift in the air, couldn't name it, couldn't explain it, but her instincts, the same instincts that had kept her alive for years, it screamed one thing. This was only the beginning.